Congratulations on stealing the election.
No.
When polling began, so did the cheating.
The ballot boxes have been out of sight for 2 weeks now.
He stole the election in 2008. This time, we want to tell him you will not steal again.
Fellow Zimbabweans, the situation in our country has moved to another level.
We don't want Mugabe, we want a
We want the goblin to go, he's a goblin! Mugabe, listen to the voice of the people.
And it's time for us, the younger generation, to take over.
I, Robert Mugabe, hereby formally tender my resignation as the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe with immediate effect.
We are witnessing the beginning of a new and unfolding democracy.
The violence, the human rights abuses, the violence of the constitution must stop. Tunoda kuvaka a democratic Zimbabwe. Let's have a free and a fair election.
We've lost our very crucial soldier at a very important and crucial moment. We are just 4 months away from an election, and our only gift to President Richard Mugabe is our total victory at the election.
Saka ndauya nemashoko mashomanene nyika tasakadza nyika yose iringotarova chinja chete chete. Isamamachisa kukula izenzo ezoko saka nyika ichayakuya kani muri kuchiona rechitrei. Now, tanangana nesaru. Bolero.
Yes.
Nyika hazikoni. Yes. Hakuna chichatimisa. Mugabe waitimisa hasipo. Toziziya zanu maitirai. Inge yakutya ikange yotya inotanga zvayo zvikaibata zvinoiwisira muviolence. Amuzizire. Saka takati gore rino maobserver takaunza varungu vamunoona vakatenderera nyika yose, takakoka European Union, tikakoka America, tikati uyai muwanikwe village nevillage kuti matsotsi aya asaita zvawo.
President Emmerson Mnangagwa has assured world leaders that all measures have been taken and put in place to ensure peaceful, transparent, fair and credible elections.
Let me assure you, Your Excellencies, that all measures have been taken and put in place for peaceful, transparent, fair and credible election.
I have said that this time around, Zimbabwe is open and transparent. We want to have free, fair, credible elections, free of violence. If you have that criteria, why would you want to deny international observers coming to our country?
Will they have free and unfettered access? Will they be able to go wherever they want?
I'm not an English expert, but I thought when you say it will be transparent, it means they have access.
And if ZANU-PF lose power in these elections, will you hand over to the opposition?
If we lose elections, that's it. Whichever party wins the election will proceed to take the reins of power.
This is an era of upsets, right? Donald Trump beating Hillary Clinton, Brexit in the UK. Sure. You defeating Emerson and Mnangagwa, you unseating ZANU-PF as the ruling party of this country, that would be an electoral upset on that kind of scale.
Sure.
I mean, Mnangagwa talks about a new dispensation. Mugabe has gone. Things have changed somehow.
No, they have not changed.
They've not changed at all.
Nothing has changed. Mnangagwa is selling the international community and the world a diamond and a ruse. And unfortunately, some of the international players are actually buying this ruse hook, line, and sinker, which is very unfortunate. There's nothing new from Mnangagwa. Mnangagwa is part of Mugabe. He has been part of Mugabe for 56 years as an advisor to Mugabe, for 37 years as a minister in Mugabe's cabinet. So they have been partners in the destruction of the country.
Mm-hmm.
Nelson Chamisa was beaten unconscious with a metal bar by unidentified attackers.
He says at least 8 men grabbed him when he got out of his car and started beating him, then left him on the roadside, unconscious and covered in blood. Doctors say he has a fractured skull, but Chamisa says he won't give up the fight.
If it means that we have to die, that's it. We need to sacrifice for our country. I'm sure you know that people are suffering. And it's no joke, people are actually dying of hunger. It's because we believe that there's a better way of doing things. The easier way is to take guns. But we've not taken guns. We've not taken up arms. Because we feel that there's a civilized way of dealing with political problems and the problems affecting our country.
We try to be close and maintain our positions. How much we have right flank, on the left flank. But let's open our eyes, try to move close.
Understood.
Thank you.
Ndinotenda ndatenda chandatenda nhasi kutenda vagari vemumberengwa. Haisi nyore kubuda muchivhundusirwa, haisi nyore kusiya mbeu inenge yanzi yauya nguva dzino ichiitirwa kuti vanhu vasauya kumusangano, mouya kumusangano. Musavhundusirwa, nyika takunoichinja ende kubva wedha vanoda kana kuti havadi. Musi wa1 August nyika inenge yadi? Nyika inenge yadi? Hatidi kutongwa nokuti hatina mhosva yatakapara. Toda kutungamirirwa. Toda kuvhotera mutungamiriri kwete mutongi. Munhu anofana kuva shefu munyika haasi mutungamiriri.
munhu anotungamirwa nokuti ndiye atuma. Ngwena ungagona 38 years aripo uzotudza nhasi uda kuuya kuzotibatsira 75 years iwe tikakupa 5 wapa 80 iwe naMugabe masiyane oda kubuda mpaone kunonzo.
President. Vanhu vavangaida kupiwa kana 10 minutes zokuti vanyatsorongeka. Ndokwandi kubva ndandati muzuva amire ndichange ndasvika iko. Woziva generator ravo raramba kuita. Tazoona kupiwa magetsi pa next door. To zvevanhu it's okay. But zvachinetsa ndezvepower izvozvo. Just few minutes. Tivangonangira.
All right. That's fine. It's okay. Hello?
I need to security by airport.
All right. I need to go. Wonderful.
When there's a national movement, many my airport is good for you. Yes, you are not paying information from the sea. Those are common awareness of motor movement here from the airport to wherever you go. You see, report your safety and security is very important.
That's correct. Kazi?
Oh, I don't to see.
Jonan?
Oh, kana Sarah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, the TV1 side on screen.
Utakwasiya?
Yeah, utakwasiya.
All right.
Hello, sir. How are you, Honorable? Good. I'm all right. It's not yet. Who placed this advert? It's really poorly done.
So, as the president stated, the situation hasn't changed. It remains the same. There will be no sham election in this country. There will be a credible, free and fair election on the 30th.
Okay. No, sir. I was asking myself.
You just saw it. You just saw it in the morning.
Anyway, give us. Where are we?
So I haven't confirmed any of this, but there are requests, Mr. President, that the Washington Post wants to meet us any time from tomorrow.
Okay.
Mr. President, in line with the issue of transitional planning, we also have to do some scenario mapping.
Sure.
Okay. I've just done a very quick draft on it. Okay. We have time to read it.
Good thought.
And then we shall need to flesh that up in line with
I like
our
this.
plans.
Yeah.
And then we still have the outstanding issue of radio and television ads.
I did puncture two of them. The Ropoto.
Sorry.
What assurance do you have that you will not have a puncture on the voting day?
I have two cars, one behind me. I took a cab, honestly. I was well up. How are you, President? Sorry about
That's
this.
why, no problem.
I like the idea of two cars. It's bad.
Sorry.
Okay. Right, let's go.
Taste the crocodile meat. I hope that the meat is going to be nicer on the 30th of July.
It's a good video, but with the nice music, I tell you, it's a killer. It's not sending a message.
The music is like lazy music, clumsy music.
Actually, it's true.
You need a better like in the background.
No. Here's the thing. It has to do with what you're presenting.
The music is. It's not communicating anything. But the music has to dovetail into the speech, into building a momentum for people. It takes away the Obama effect.
Yeah, but you must also factor in your what you call it, the pitch. So you see, you cannot have the music superimposing itself.
Isn't that if you have come to hear my views, I'm now giving you those views.
Yeah, but we're also explaining our view to why we chose that.
Yeah, but I heard you.
Yeah.
That music must be changed.
Okay.
Because it kills that thing. You know, like song done by Michael Jackson. For you and for me in this world. You get what I'm saying? Going down. It's something that invokes memories. When one looks at it, they say, wow.
Okay.
Vote MDC Alliance, Nelson Chamisa for president. Behold the new change that delivers. That's what you need.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
President Emerson Mnangagwa has sworn in the new head of the country's electoral body, the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission.
I, Nelson Mandela, President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, the virtue of the powers vested in me.
I, Justice Camilla Nielsson, swear that I will serve Zimbabwe well and truly in the office of Chairperson of the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission. So help me God.
Justice Priscilla Chigumba takes over from Rita Makarau, who resigned without giving reasons late last year.
It is a great honor and a privilege to be asked to serve one's country in this capacity as the chairperson of the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission. And I promise the Zimbabwean people that I will deliver a free, fair and credible election.
ngairege kubirirwa neZANU-PF nekuti tiri kuzviziva kuti ZANU-PF inobirira saka chekutanga vhoti yedu ngairege kubirirwa tatenda
then ndobva ndafamba ndiri panyaya yecorruption ipapo chachikumbiro changu kwamuri Mr. President kuti kana takuisai muofisi mutisungire macriminals kwete zvenhema kwete zvenhema
okumbirawo musumuke muchizotisimudzira president to respond to the issues.
aiwa vapeiti ari kuchema
yakanaka mota chisamba machisa chisamba machisa. All right, I'm sorry Mr. President. Chiri kuita kuti tione kuti nhamba yevasikana vave vashoma pana panyaya yekuti vanhu vanotya. Takakura tichiudzwa ende tichitoona kuti ZANU inotyisa, but apparently we are very tired and we are standing firm tichitaura kuti kwese kufa tikarohwa tikafa nenzara tikashaya mabasa kwese kufa.
ndaona the passion yamunayo. That passion touches me. That passion inoita kuti chero panenda kufunga ndaneta ndinowana energy. Panenda kufunga ndakudzokera kumashure ndinoenda kumberi. Because I know kuti kwese kwatiri kuenda we are together in this thing. Chinotondityisa ndechekuti the morning after musi wa 1 August ndo pane headache yangu. yokuti how do I feed the nation? How do I provide jobs?
Mr. Chamisa, sorry, President Chamisa, you are the hope for Zimbabwe. And every student and every generation that is coming after us. Please do not take that hope away from us. An economy is not built by promises. Yes. They have been promising and promising. 38 years of promises and non-deliverance. Why we have so much hope in you is because we know you have proven beyond any reasonable doubt that you can deliver. We want you to deliver, not promises. Do not give us empty promises. Action, not words.
Nyaya corruption. Pavatungamirira. Vamunangagwa anozviziva kuti munyika muno kuti muve neutsotsi hurimo. It's 38 years of investment in corruption. The only industry, the only factory that has been growing this country is the factory of corruption. 15 billion yakabiwa, not one person was arrested. Vamunangagwa ndakadza kuti ndaisa ofisi yangu kuti ndile necorruption ndikati yowe. Kune mosquito inorapa malaria. Iza mama jiza. Ukula. Ndakapuwa upumi iwe. We have 60 minerals to explain kwa muno. Hapo serious. 6 lithium, manganese, platinum, gold, diamond, chinja upenyu. Andise. Zvinhu zvifambe zvakadini? Zvakanaka. Munhu aende okubasa. Munhu awane payslip. Vasati vamukana payslip nyamba. Depend. Good one. Thank you. Oh, they are happy. What a crowd. It was beautiful, eh? But the election is very pathetic, man. Munyika. Amuti yasumuka man. Eh? It's a problem.
Over the last couple of months, Chamisa has gained some real momentum. And you've got to respect how Chamisa has gone about it in such a short space of time. A lot of people doubted Chamisa. They said he was too young. They said Changirai's shoes were too big. And he's done a lot of this stuff without the big money that ZANU-PF has. Since February, he's addressed almost 70 rallies, sometimes up to 4 rallies a day. It's going to be a crazy run to the finish line. And who knows? We could have a 40-year-old president.
Chief, Moneri. This is not good.
The main opposition party, the MDC Alliance, was taken by surprise by news that the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission, ZEC, has begun the ballot printing process without the party's involvement. Following years of disputed elections that were characterized by allegations of vote rigging and ballot stuffing, there are now concerns here that the July 30th elections may not be free and fair.
No, that is cessation of the printing a ballot now. Was root of print. So that process must be stopped. Then 2, an inclusive process. To agree, no way for it. To agree, ne specimen. Then to agree, all parties. Nenya yakuti zeki printing ya ichafamba say.
Current printing must be stopped, and then there's an issue.
The illegitimate and illegal current is even gas that is illegal. It's illegal.
It's illegal.
There must be an emergency meeting. There must be an emergency meeting.
Emergency
meeting with ZEC. And to resolve all the
ZEC.
This
to resolve
all
these issues.
Urgent issues, yeah.
Urgent issues.
I think it's okay. Right.
Yeah, I'm on my way.
Over the past 2 decades, we've gone through a series of disputed elections that have plunged this country into persistent crisis of legitimacy. What they did in 2013 was to manipulate the ballot so that they use a ballot that has certain consequences in terms of manipulating the will of the people. This time, we are not repeating the mistakes of 2013. We will not go into an election that has its own machinations. Now, in the context of our elections, it's important for ZEC to be a credible referee so that it's an independent process by an independent and impartial referee. It's within our political rights, it's within our constitution. And we'll have an election on the 30th of July, but it has to be done with an agreed ballot paper. Nothing less, nothing more. There must be an emergency meeting with ZEC to resolve all these urgent issues. If they are not resolved, we have our alternative. And we are ready for any consequence until we have a free and fair election in Zimbabwe.
Election. Ballot. Decide out ballot maballot angaida kushandiseke zvinoda makuapinza nebasai. So we have said polling agents ese make sure mamira panjim. We have mobilized 44,000 polling agents for the 11,000 polling stations. To make sure kuti hadisiye kana mukana wokuti vabire.
We want an elaborate plan on collation and remitter of my results. It's an anti-rigging strategy. Yokuti vakatipira isu state takazama state vanhu vadi vanotivhotera. Ane mapanzo yapa per polling station. Their polling station monitors. How are they going to report back results? That kind of a thing must be worked out by this technical team. We must have a command center now, which is set up already, comrades.
I hear you, Mr. President. We are developing a plan.
Yeah. So practically, you must now be able to say, we have now this as our command center, ideally and preferably with 210 computers. Yes, with the diagrams and everything, with all the necessary technology. Those sort of things that should be tabulated. Okay? But also we use it to build a board of evidence. This is a war room. So you must understand my attitude. I'm not here for kisses and hugs. I'm here for a fight. Kuti tiende kumberi tinowina my elections. So let's get it done.
The Constitution requires, and the law requires that we have access to electoral materials. Last time I checked, the ballot paper is electoral material. Yeah. So we're not making demands. We're not saying, ZEC, give us that. ZEC, bend backwards for us. No, we're not. We're saying, ZEC, follow the law. Just simple as that. ZEC.
They have not moved on the voters' roll. They have not moved on the ballot paper. They have not moved on all the issues we have raised. Question is that for almost weeks now.
We formally requested that you meet with Justice Chikuba on Monday at 11 o'clock. We did that in writing. I went there late yesterday. She was not there. I spoke to the PA and said, listen, we would like to have this meeting. My view is that she's got absolutely no intention of having this meeting with you.
You see, we are fighting with people who are determined to frustrate us. And I'm requesting that I see Chigumba. Don't go through the PA and whatever. Wait for her. Office Pagibo. You must have a different approach. And that must be done immediately. Because this is an emergency crisis. Oma, we're at war. We're dealing with criminals here. The ballot paper, they are looking at who blinks first. They will use that ballot. Once you lose guard of the process here, balloting, and where that ballot is and the testing, I tell you, going to an election with that big momentum, you will be shocked with the result. And that's what I don't want to do. This is a people of Zimbabwe versus ZEC. Until and unless we have seen the ballot, there's not going to be an election in this country. We'll stop the election. Period.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Yeah, we are.
The July 30 date for Zimbabwe elections looked all but set. In the process, the MDC was demanding a range of electoral requirements. Nelson Chamisa says without electoral requirements, there will be no elections.
We have a process crisis, we have an election crisis. We love to have a free and fair election in terms of the standards and guidelines, not just of SADC and the AU, but also international norms. We can't lower the standards for free and fair election in Zimbabwe.
Maoko mudenga. Maoko mudenga. Maoko mudenga. Maoko mudenga. Pano ndichashedza vangonzora kuti vatsanangure mafambiro atichaita.
Tiri kudemonstratera zvinhu zviviri. Chinhu chekutanga tiri kudemonstrata kuti ZEC yakatinyima voters roll riri pamutemo. Voters roll redu rinofanira rine mazita evanhu vacho pamwe chete nemapicture evanhu vacho, kuitira kuti tione kuti hakuna munhu anyoresa mazita akawanda ari one. Tiri kudemonstratera kuti tinoda kuzimba kuti mapepa ekuvhotera ari kudhindirwa kupi, mangani naani wacho. Izvozvo ZEC yakatinyima. Tichinovapa ZEC our key demands for free and fair election.
Redway takufamba handizve. nanhasi nenguva dza 4 minutes past 1 tapresenta petition yedu ku Zimbabwe Election Commission. Tine urombo kuti chair we-commission Justice Chigumba vanga vasipo. Titereresei and vezek vakateerera. This is a red line. We are prepared to die for this.
I want to thank every one of you, like organizer for demo. Chief of Staff, well done. Netimienyu, the demo was well done. That was top notch, well planned, well executed. We thank you for all the effort. I've told them that we are going to stop the election if we don't get the ballot. And we mean it. That's how we are going to proceed. They said, what is the meaning of that? The meaning is very simple. There will be no election. They said, but is that not illegal? I said, but is it also illegal for ZEC to run the election without using the law and breaking the law?
Our role is to run elections on behalf of all Zimbabweans, those who are present here and those that have no capacity to be here. And what binds us as a collective to ensure that we do elections according to what is required is the Electoral Act and the Constitution, which we have followed to the letter.
Thank you very much, Mr. Commissioner. I want to state the following on behalf of my party, the MDC Alliance. This commission must be truly independent. It must not only be independent on paper, it must be seen to be independent. Denying us access to material that the law allows us to have access to is unreasonable. And we want to place it on record that as political parties participating in this election, we have absolutely no idea at this minute where these ballot papers are and who is the custody of these ballot papers. ZEC has not made any pronouncement on the abuse of food aid as a political weapon by ZANU-PF. Food are being distributed at ZANU-PF rallies and in exchange of votes. The voters' roll that we have right now is not the voters' roll that is going to be used on the 30th. And therefore, ZEC is in breach of the law.
We remain committed and guided by the provisions of the law. And where there are disputes regarding interpretations of the law, officers of the law like Monzora know what to do. We have lost cases. In some instances, we have won the cases. I think that is how these institutions should operate.
We have our own suspicions. And these suspicions are based on the previous elections. Maybe you may have worked very, very hard trying to ensure that we have these free, fair, credible elections. But the honest truth is that we do not trust you. We actually believe that the ruling party has an unfair advantage over all of us. Even from these meetings, you can actually see that they are the ones that seem satisfied and happy. They are the ones that actually...
Point of order. He has no right to raise allegations which are unfounded. It's not fair and proper. We're a party like any other party. That's why we're here.
No.
Say your issue. Don't accuse us.
No, but I can also raise my own observations.
Don't accuse us.
I can raise my observation.
No.
Okay,
he has no right to insult us.
I did not insult.
So please raise your issue with ZEC. If you have issues with ZEC, talk to ZEC. But don't include ZANU-PF in the
No,
conversation.
we've got suspicions. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, but we don't debate Nganga issues here.
I can substantiate my claims, my friend. I can do that.
No, but if you defend my party, you can accuse me.
But I can raise
You cannot
issues.
accuse me.
I can raise
You
issues.
can't accuse my party without substantiation. Say your issue, but don't accuse ZANU-PF of misdeeds it has not done.
I'm not going to accuse you, see. I want to ask you a sincere question, Mr. Mangwana. Are you not, in the interest of ZANU-PF, willing to see an election which is not disputed in any manner of any unfounded allegations?
Our problem right now, and the problem of my colleague, if you feel ZEC is being unreasonable, you are turning around
and start pointing fingers at us as ZANU-PF. What have we to do with ZEC? We are players like you. So if you are not happy with the referee, where are you coming to? Why are you accusing ZANU-PF of anything?
Because you are the beneficiary.
How? Based on what?
Do you benefit?
Based on what?
ZANU-PF is a part of lawyers. It's the player. It's the referee. If I'm linked there, with them being a lawyer, I'm also going to go to the courts again. And the mercy of the lawyers. Who are referees? To judge.
When the lawsuit was available.
Before he goes out, you should rebuke him for saying that. Because that's intimidating you now. Yeah, but these guys are so arrogant.
So I think on that matter, a conclusion has been reached. And by the commission.
By the commission?
Yes.
And why are we here now? Why are we here? You are not going to have these elections on your own. Is it not about inclusivity?
Point of order, sir. I have to be open that this is not a credible institution. We have to fight these people. These people will never do anything for you. There is no change. If you remain silent, there will never be change. I tell you, because I have been in this struggle for a long time, and they don't mind what we are going through. I rest my case by telling you that these people, and as a party, as Mad Zimbabwe, we are no longer going to participate in this election. Go ahead. Those who think that they have a better chance, go ahead, but you will cry tomorrow. Because the moment you participate, you are asserting and you are affirming that ZANU-PF will remain in power.
Thank you, members of the leadership. This is a very crucial meeting. It's an extraordinary meeting. Extraordinary on account of receiving a brief from ZEC, the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission, to keep us posted and in the loop on the direction that we have to take as a party, but also as a country.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. President. Yesterday we met ZEC in order to receive the feedback on the issues that we addressed. They rejected our plea that food aid must not be used as a political weapon. They said government has a responsibility to feed people. And they don't want to interfere with that.
Exactly.
But this is in spite of the evidence that we gave them that food was being dished out at ZANU-PF rallies. Then the voters' roll. We argued that the voters' roll that we've received is different from the voters' roll that is going to be used during polling. It is also different from the voters' roll that is envisaged in the law. Again, they rejected that. It was a fait accompli. These are people who want to provoke us into boycotting the election. They know that these things are unacceptable to us and they are just daring us. We raised another...
Why would they dare us? What would be their game plan? Do they benefit from us boycotting an election?
Yes. Yes, Mr. President, they do.
I don't know what happened. I think they were clumsy and a bit radical in their approach. ZANU?
Yes.
Yesterday.
They walked out. When Paul Mangwana walked out of the meeting.
Shouting?
Yeah, I think they are panicking. And you see President Mnangagwa losing his cool. And the very uncharacteristic of him.
That's why I'm surprised.
Yeah, he's losing his cool. He does not trust his lieutenants.
They are beginning to see the truth.
Because they think that if we take power, we will retribute. We will try them for treason.
Cool.
Yeah, that's what they are afraid of.
What is your recommendation on the way forward?
Our recommendation, Mr. President, is that we must proceed with the election. Their statistics, according to what we've been told, are giving them 4 provinces to 6. And this means that we are winning according to their statistics as well.
From what I'm hearing, is that we are going into the election. Yes. From what you are saying.
Yes.
Is there any contrary view?
No.
At the leadership level? No contrary view? Okay.
It's clear that we have a ZEC that is biased. We have a ZEC that has lost the confidence and trust of the people of Zimbabwe. We have a ZEC that has chosen
to throw away the whistle as a referee and join another team, particularly the ED team, Mnangagwa's team. And this is why Mnangagwa is not complaining, because the team is playing on his behalf. But what we have resolved to do is to make sure that we defeat both the referee and the player. Mr. Mnangagwa and Zek must both be defeated. Defeated in terms of the overwhelming sentiment in the country, that we are not going to allow them to get away with murder literally and metaphorically. We know that it is in the nature of ZANU-PF to cheat and to also undermine the will of the people. But we are saying to people of Zimbabwe, come in your numbers to shame the detractors. Having said that, I think I will take questions, and like in ZANU-PF where they just address you and walk away. We are not going to walk away. We want to hear what your questions are.
Also, why have you changed your stance?
At the end of the day, I'm a servant of the people. I'm guided by what the people want. They want their victory. Let us overwhelm their machinations and schemes in our voting in numbers. Yes, ZEC is intransigent, but we will still defeat them.
Hello? Our campaign now is to get everyone to vote in as large a number as possible, and we think that that will offset the ability to rig.
Hi, fellow Salam. Salam. No. Airflow.
But it's still empty days. These are empty days.
Vatora vanhu kubva kuZimbabwe yese vangotadza kusadza
Yes, Mr. Chamisa. Yes, Mbama Chisa. Maoko mudenga. Maoko mudenga. Maoko mudenga. Vakomana. Vasikana. Are you feeling what I'm feeling? Are you feeling what I'm feeling? Those who believe in change, you want to maoko. Aye, maoka. Hands up for a new Zimbabwe! Chisa, Mama Chisa! 2 days to independence. 2 days to oneness as a people. Tikakuta mukana urukunoka we ugoni foot. If we miss our opportunity on Monday, we are doomed for life. Mago Mudenga! Mago Mudenga! Bye bye ZANU-PF, bye bye! Bye bye Kushaya Mabasa, bye bye! Bye bye kudzunyirirwa kweruzhinji, bye bye! Bye bye kukanganikwa nehurumende, bye bye! Chizamba machiza? Kukula!
Pastors.
Well done.
And the full view starts now with Zimbabwe.
With just hours before Zimbabweans head to the polls, former President Robert Mugabe has addressed media here at his Blue Roof residence.
On the eve of the presidential election, the former president appeared before the media in Harare at a surprise press conference.
Ladies and gentlemen, comrades and friends, I was sacked from the party I founded when tanks rolled through and across the country. I was regarded now as an enemy.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I will take a few questions.
I just want to find out, former President, you indicated that the current administration used the army to get the power, but some detractors are saying the same happened during your era.
It was not the army that ensured I remained in power. You are wrong on that one. We had elections every 5 years. Every 5 years.
Fergus Keane, BBC News. Would you prefer to see the opposition win tomorrow rather than see Idi Mnangagwa return to power?
Oh, what are you saying? I must say very clearly, I cannot vote for those who have tormented me. No, I can't. So what is there? I think it's just Chamisa.
What he said was that he could not vote for the ruling party led by President Mnangagwa. And what he has done is he's really grabbed the spotlight today. In fact, he's milked it. There is no campaigning today. There are no rallies, no political rallies. And he's endorsed basically Nelson Chamisa. It is a significant moment.
Yes, Mugabe has spoken. He has said that I'm voting for the young men. But you see, when your enemy gives you a hug and a kiss, you just have to be careful that there's no bite in the kiss. You know, this is where we need your statesmanship in Africa. And the mood is massive. It's in the bag, but we just have to be very vigilant because there are things around the ballot papers we need to be sure about, and also around ballot stuffing. These guys are rather on the wrong side, so we just want to be sure that things are being done properly.
Voters lined up well before sunrise in Harare, waiting for hours for their opportunity to vote in this election. They are desperate for change.
Zimbabwe is holding its first election in the post-Robert Mugabe era.
Who was removed last year by the military after dominating the political scene for decades.
Many see this as a step for the country to move in a new direction after nearly 40 years of dictatorship.
Emmerson Mnangagwa is seen as the frontrunner with the backing of the ruling ZANU-PF party. The main challenge will come from Nelson Chamisa, the 40-year-old leader of the opposition, the Movement for Democratic Change.
Mr. Chamisa must be, yes, we'll do the interview outside. Mr. Chamisa, how does it feel to have cast your ballot here this morning?
Well, it's a great moment for Zimbabwe. A vote for freedom, a vote for democracy, a vote for a new Zimbabwe, a vote for the genuine new.
Both the process for campaigning was peaceful. The voting today is peaceful. I have no doubt that the end process of the entire electoral process will remain peaceful.
Okay. All right.
Okay, President.
Dr. Nkululeko, the President's spokesperson, will address this press. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The President has a very, very clear message to the people in the country and in the world. Let us all be polling agents. If you see any irregularities or pre-marked ballots, immediately report these and demand a clean ballot. Don't go away without casting your vote.
Can I ask a favor from you? If you could just send me a WhatsApp message, because I'm having a lot of calls coming through.
So what we're going to do is we're going to be entering the results per polling station.
Okay.
And this is a check variable. Okay. If we have any figure at all here, it means there is something wrong somewhere.
The earlier we get the picture, the better. The better. Because that informs my age.
Counting has started in what some are calling Zimbabwe's historic election.
Electoral authorities say that the turnout was high, with more than 5 million having registered to cast their votes.
The votes have been cast and are now being counted for Zimbabwe's first general election since last year's ousting of the country's long-serving President Robert Mugabe.
Magura High School, these are all rural constituencies.
These are wards. These results will be correct.
Yeah.
Wards will have results by now. And look, we're winning. Those results are correct. Doc, yes, the man I'm looking for. How are you, sir?
Good, sir.
What's happening?
What's happening?
Yeah.
We are winning.
That's
What
winning,
is
right?
happening? Yes. Do you have a problem with winning? No, I have no problem with winning. I thought that was the reason why. That is the main reason.
Hey, how's it?
Good.
Great.
What is the advocate? What can happen to you? I have to declare the victory.
My body wants to rest my mind. I'm telling you. It's looking good. We are sitting here, and what we will be doing is look at the results as they come through, and when we think you need to know, we'll let you know. Yes, Imimombo Zorora, President. Yes, thank you.
No, I'm saying the position is similar. We will be claiming victory at an appropriate time, okay? But timing of it is critical. I need to reconcile that with our team's position here. Okay, I will get back to you.
The Commission would like to thank the Zimbabwean electorate for exercising their right to vote in peace and would like to urge Zimbabweans to be patient as they wait for the results.
We are just about to become the most important team in this country in a few hours. In the event that we win, if the numbers come our way, right, the official numbers from SEC, if they come our way, we are no longer talking politics, we are talking reality. But we cannot really be sure about what kind of reaction we are going to get from the system. It could be anything from police action, military action. We are on our own.
Our problem is that we have won elections before. We have failed to claim victory. And if we fail to do that, we are going back to 2013, we are going back to 2008.
We must confine ourselves and talk about what we're going to do to ensure that the victory doesn't fly away.
Like you said, Chair, we are here looking at all possible outcomes because we are looking at advising in all possible outcomes. Because we are not going to be reactionary to ZANU-PF, we are going to be prepared for anything.
No one must announce election results except ZEC.
To take power from ZANU-PF. These are Zanla gorillas that are in power. These are military. And I've never seen it anywhere where you try to juggle it within the legal. If people are not going to prepare to die, to go to prison, to go to jail, you're not going to take power from this regime, believe me or not.
We need extraordinary boldness tonight.
Yes.
Somebody might get killed. But you know, so many people over the years have laid down their lives for the sake of this country, and I'm prepared to do that tonight. I think we have to claim the victory by addressing a press conference. We have shared some insights on how we can do it.
We can't say we've won this election. There's no evidence-based whatsoever. There is evidence. There is nothing concrete now.
No, that's evident. Comrades, I'm Chair. I think that's the problem. I did not say
But what I'm saying this is 2 a.m. Please tell me.
Yeah, it's
from 7, Mam's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 5, 12. That's 5 hours. You should know the results, but they are not out.
Riverside. There are only 36 registered voters. Riverside Rapids. 36.
There's no way this system was gonna beat us. I've got a bit feeling already. Because it's not good for us. Something is cooking. It's in the oven.
got fourth floor.
Abazali bani zvivakachi.
This kind of information, I said, this is our challenge.
Yeah. Sorry. Look, ZEC has delayed counting such that by now we actually don't have any numbers from the polling stations. Yeah, so we're still where we were soon after the voting.
And would like to urge Zimbabweans to be patient as they wait for the results.
Vanhu vacho vakanonoka kuverenga shamwari saka tichiri mushishi kuda kuunderstanda kuti zvinhu zvakamira sei. But it's looking good. So far ese atakuziva marari takawina.
So my view is that I think we now need to put public pressure on them. Call for a presser. We're concerned about the delay in coming out of results. We don't have official results. Results no, but we don't have
official results because we've already tabulated.
So that is a pressure.
So you agree with the presser?
Yeah, let's have it. We don't need to consult any further.
No, I'm going to do that after consulting the president in 10 minutes.
But I'm trying to call him now. But if he doesn't pick, we just have to go ahead because we are in a crisis now.
That's fine. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Ante.
The Commission would like to advise that we will announce the results as they come in, and all stakeholders are hereby reminded that it is unlawful to announce results because this is a direct contravention of Section 66A, subsection A, subsection B of the Electoral Act. So if you announce results to your friends on WhatsApp as if those are official results, that is an offense.
We have now received from our agents across the country results of the 2018 election. The results show beyond reasonable doubt that we have won this election and that the next president of Zimbabwe is Advocate Nelson Chamisa. We will now hope that the Zimbabwe Election Commission will follow its constitutional and legal obligation of formally announcing the result that is consistent with what we have gathered through our own paro voter tabulation process. We've also received very confidential reports that General Chiwenga has issued an order, directive for the assassination of President Chamisa and myself. We don't accept that. We don't accept that. So we are aware that people are trying to prevent and stop the people's will, to interfere with the people's will. We will not accept that.
These opposition supporters say they are not going to accept defeat. They say if President Mugabe has won this election, they will protest on the street. As far as they're concerned, their candidate, Nelson Chamisa, is the winner.
People are concerned and worried about the pace at which this is going. Why is it taking so long?
The counting has been completed in most of the polling stations. I'm sure by now all have completed the counting.
All right, so we might have a National Assembly by the end of tomorrow for sure. Why would it take another 2-3 days to do the presidential? Because the National Assembly is happening at the same time as the presidential. It's the same time, the same people counting. Why the delay? Why the difference in timing?
We have 5 days to announce them in terms of the law, and our target is to ensure that as soon as we get all the results, we should be able to announce them.
But again, you're doing so well with the others. Surely it's not that much more difficult.
Have you found any evidence for the opposition claim of widespread, large-scale ballot rigging?
That I have not seen.
I welcome you and thank you for coming today.
The delegation notes several improvements in the electoral process compared to the past, although there are important problems that raise concerns that the process has not yet hit the mark.
The ZEC should take immediate steps to ensure the public of its independence and political impartiality by completing the vote tabulation process in an open and transparent manner.
The longer the results are delayed in being released, the more questions will be raised and concerns will deepen.
There's been increasing concerns about ZEC's independence. Do you think ZEC is one-sided? Do you think it's independent?
I know the best way to get quoted is to give a soundbite. And I didn't deliberately draw out the answer to the question about the voters list to avoid being quoted. My point was there's not an easy way to answer questions of that.
Sounds like a no.
To violence, always using violence. They are manipulating our results. We voted for MDC Alliance. Nobody voted for ZANU-PF. ZANU-PF have failed to deliver for this country. It has been in power for 30 years.
Okay, get down, get down, get down, get down, get down, get down, behind the tree.
Differences. I'm hearing what sounds like blasts, Michelle. It's definitely blasts.
Put it on me. Take cover.
Raymondo, get behind me. Okay, we want to go. We will go, but we want to be safe.
We're in the crossfire. Come down. Low.
Get down low.
Faster, yes.
This is a live bullet. This is
Please give him space. Huh? Wait a minute. You can ask the journalist to move to the other side for a minute.
Can you kindly give us space? We are crying. We want to talk to him.
Oh, it's okay. Oh, it's fine. How are you?
Fine, thanks.
Very sorry, Wakumanda.
I think it's about Jason.
Yeah. How old?
42.
Sorry, married?
Yeah, he's married.
How many children?
4. And the wife is pregnant.
The wife is pregnant?
Another wife. Achiva masoja angachivene kuma saka paakabva ndopa ari mumashure imomo vanhu vese atori kumberi ndopa akarohwa gunshot achitowira pasi ndofunga zve 10 meters paanotengesera
so wanga asingatombodemonstrate
aiwa wanga asingademonstrate saka tongoshaya
tine urombo wakomana
mutenda president nekuuya kwamaita
toitawo zvakanaka nekuuya kwamaita. I'm very sorry about what happened. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Fergal King from BBC News. Do you accept that the longer this goes on, the more it looks, particularly to opposition supporters, that there's a fix?
But the reality of the situation is that we need to do the whole process within the confines of the law. Our law provides that election results must be announced within a period of 5 days from polling, and we are still on day 3. And we will be able to release the results soon, as we have said.
The world witnessed the shooting of some protesters. Really, can you be trusted with handling the presidential results at this moment?
Yes, I really think that the nation and the world at large really ought to trust us. We are working very hard to make sure that everything is finalized. The system is very protracted, but my assurance to all of you here is that we'll be able to announce the elections within the time frames specified by the law.
We're done now.
Okay. All right. Yeah, but
Yeah, wait. Clear, wait. How do you know more time?
All right.
Sikuziva varunzi vapinde mota manje kuti zviri kufamba sei.
Ko naye. Murupinda motikari yaiko. Murupinda motikari. Come down. Muri office here. Tione ma credentials zenyu.
Tinawo asara office.
Kana sara office dzokera ku office. Mupinda muri anani. Muri anani. It doesn't end well, I'm telling you. It doesn't end well for anybody who misbehaves. You cannot oppress the people forever. And system, make sure the system doesn't crash. Collapse over it. Where is the lawyer? What is this?
Yeah, this one I'm not aware of. This, I've just come for the people.
Let's see the warrant.
Yes.
All right, Pindai.
Pindai Motkat, no problem. We are handling that. We have come here to actually rescue guys, so don't worry. We are handling that.
But pani search warrant manje. Iripado. They're searching for computers. Yeah. Vanobatsira vanhu ivavo kubuda mubuilding. Pamwe ndatosiya vanhu vachisungwa paye ndanyepegwa nemunhu yaini. Is that guy lawyers for sure?
I don't know. Maybe Junda.
Let me mistake about. You know, I just believe these people, and I'm not sure it's right. Oh my God! Don't tell me that. Do not tell me that. Is there a way we can find out if we had lawyers for human rights at Harvest House today? Please do. All right. They want to announce the results.
Who gave the authority for soldiers to do what they did? And those who killed people, what is going to happen to them? In fact, President Mnangagwa must be able to tell the public who issued the instruction to fire live bullets on innocent citizens. Because this is a serious issue. You are having an army being unleashed onto civilians. What are you doing? It's not just a provocation. It's actually a serious offense.
Do you have a comment on the raid that took place in your office today, where computers were seized and apparently some officials were arrested?
Very sad events indeed. But what it confirms is that the leopard does not and has not changed its skin. The same system of ZANU-PF yesterday under Mugabe is the same system of ZANU-PF today under Mnangagwa. Why do you raid our offices? And why do you take our computers? They thought that they were going to get the tallies, but we had changed. We had actually a safe house for that because we knew that they were going to do that. We anticipated, you know, you can easily read them. You can almost dictate their pattern. So our simple request to ZEC, respect the people. Be professional. Show your integrity. Don't show your open hand of bias. Announce the proper result.
I now hand over this time to the chairperson of the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission, Justice Priscilla Chigumba.
Good evening, everyone. The Zimbabwe Electoral Commission is now ready to begin the announcement of the results for the presidential election 2018.
Mashonaland Central Province. Chamisa Nelson, 97,097 votes. Mnangagwa Emerson Dambudzo, 366,785 votes.
From the Midlands Province, Chamisa Nelson, 255,059 votes. Mnangagwa Emerson Dambudzo, 350,755 4 votes.
I will now kindly seek your indulgence for us to adjourn for approximately 60 minutes, whereafter we will come back with the results of Mashonaland West Province, which is the outstanding province, and then make the declaration of the winner tonight. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
No, yeah, what they added, which is fake.
The cheating is far too obvious.
It's blatant.
It's far too obvious.
It's blatant. Uyu idr kunzane 330 chakuti kumatch central isusu tine 90 whatever to take it to 400 chakuti, but only around 200,000 people voted in match central. So they've just created more than 200,000 votes for. Look, we have to tell the world today that you guys did not sign off on this process, that there was no verification as is required by law.
But what I insist on, let's call for the presser now.
Can't get presser when they're there because all presser is set up for that thing and they will not move until that process is completed.
This is a crisis. So we don't have luxury of taking our time.
Because let us just agree on the areas you go up right now before they come.
To take advantage of this get because there's so much excitement about results still. Then we hit him.
Yeah.
I don't know.
President. President. Yes, there is a suggestion to him press.
No. He doesn't do that. We finish him. He doesn't do a press conference bang in the middle of the night when nobody will react to it.
Sorry? Yes? It's gonna commission. Okay. Do we address the presser now or we wait for?
No, you need to discredit them before they announce, if we could.
So let us go.
Is it time or?
Attention to members of the press. We would like to give a short statement. If you don't mind. Thank you very much. Difficult times in our country, but we will get there. I'll introduce our chairperson, Senator Komechi, to come and give you a brief statement.
Good evening, gentlemen and ladies. Good evening, gentlemen and ladies.
So far, we reject the results because the results that have been announced have not been verified by us. I did not sign those results, so the results are fake. The results have just been printed and they've not been verified by the polling agent.
Thank you very much. The point is made. Thank you. We will announce them. This is a coup.
It's a coup. Yeah, it's a coup.
This is a coup. They've just carried out a coup.
It's a fraud.
No. But how do you govern a country when you know that you've not won an election?
Votes, 50.8%. Therefore, Mnangagwa Emerson Dambudzo of ZANU-PF party is therefore duly declared elected President of the Republic of Zimbabwe with effect from the 3rd of August 2018. Let us not lose sight of the fact that the election is about each and every individual voter. And I would like to thank each and every individual voter who took time out of their busy schedules to come and exercise their democratic and constitutional rights. We are, as a commission, humbled by the support, cooperation, peace and tranquility that characterize the 2018 harmonized elections. May God bless this nation and
These guys are making Mugabe look like a saint.
There, you gotta pay.
Can you stop with this one? All right. Look at this. What is this? Go walk in event young with Zeta Save.
Let's go. Wow. Let's go.
We're here for a press conference with Nelson Chamisa, and as you can see, the riot police have just turned up.
الشرطة طردت الصحفيين ومنعتهم من إقامة المؤتمر ومنعت المعارضة من إقامة المؤتمر الصحفي فيما تزال تتمركز أمام مقر المعارضة. هنا كان مقررا لتحالف المعارضة أن يعقد مؤتمرا صحفيا ولكن قاموا بمنع
So this is a democracy. Where are you shutting Shoving any remarkable event in the last 4 days. This is quite extraordinary.
Out of you, police, don't stop the press conference. My message is clear. As the Minister of Information, Media and Broadcasting Services.
You said riot police against journalists.
I said the press conference must go ahead.
So this is a mistake.
Okay, guys. The press conference is going ahead. Let us go ahead and set up.
Let us have your press conference.
Can I have the journalists go back inside to set up?
I wish to start by acknowledging the problems we've had with the police who tried to block this press conference. But this cannot be the behavior of a people who have won. It can only be a behavior of those who have lost. As far as we are concerned, this election as a presidential result is fraudulent, illegal, illegitimate, and characterized by serious credibility gaps. And I must say that Mr. Mnangagwa did not win the election in this country. The election in this country was won by the MDC Alliance presidential candidate, and we won that election emphatically. Today is a day of mourning over democracy, because we are seeing a repeat of what we saw during the yesteryear regime. A rigging of the will of the people, manipulating the results, a coup against the will of the people. Mr. Mugabe was at least sophisticated, as a fraudster. But this fraudster is so pedestrian, We want a proper result to be announced. We will pursue all means necessary, legal and constitutional, to make sure that we protect the people's vote.
There was a breakdown in command. I hope you take it in good spirit. These things happen when we're having a change. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Okay? That's good. Flex in here. We are going to set them up. Can we remove this flex, please? For now. Okay? So we will not hurry you. We will make sure you are well set up, and then we will get going. The president is still Newsday, daily news. Let's get everyone to know. Hello. We are ready. Ladies and gentlemen, the president-elect.
These are all sorts of lengths.
Welcome to State House for this very important press conference. I wish to first apologize for the incident which took place at Bronte Hotel this afternoon. Any inconvenience caused to any of you is sincerely regretted. Your Excellency, sir.
My fellow Zimbabweans, the past 9 months have been momentous, an uplifting period in the history of the Zimbabwean nation. There has been an unprecedented flowering of freedom and democracy in our beloved homeland. This process culminated in the historic 2018 harmonized elections. Here was a celebration of Zimbabwean democracy, a festival of unfettered freedom. With the eyes of the world on us, we delivered a free, fair, and credible election as we had always promised. Now that the people have spoken, I hear your call. I pledge to be a listening president, a fair president, a responsible and inclusive president. I thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency, President. His Excellency, the President, is accepted to take some few questions.
Hello, President. My name is Violet Gonda. I'm an independent journalist. I think right now Zimbabwe would want to know who called the soldiers to the streets of Harare, who made that call, and what investigations have been made so far.
That was an unfortunate incident where some people lost their lives.
Mr. Mugabe, Roland Oliphant from the Daily Telegraph. You've promised a new dispensation, but as has been mentioned, troops used live rounds on civilians, and earlier this afternoon, riot police attempted to break up a press conference by Mr. Nelson Chamisa, your main rival. Who gave that order, and what kind of a message does that send to the world about the new dispensation? Why shouldn't the world conclude that those are simply empty words?
With the intelligence they had gathered, there was likely to be violence. But when the minister got to know about it, he immediately made sure that the media is allowed and the opposition party, I think it is the MDC Alliance, be allowed to proceed with their conference. And I'm informed that actually the conference went ahead and the entire media who wanted to be present were allowed to be present.
The battle for the presidency has shifted from the campaign trail and ballot box to the courts.
I would like to guarantee you that we have a very strong case and we are going to overturn this electoral fraud. What is on trial is not Nelson Chamisa or the MDC Alliance. What is on trial is democracy.
Under the Constitution, Advocate Tabani Mpofu has 7 days to challenge the results from the time a winner is declared.
When about Twitter, Jonathan.
Of the vote. PFT. This is ZBC. Thank you. This is ZBC. On the day, it says 105,000 voters had in Marsh Central cast their votes by 5 p.m. When ZEC announces its results, it says more than 440,000 people voted. And there's an affidavit which confirms the story. Yeah, which we've put in. This is contemporaneous material. Taken at the time. There was no need for them to lie.
Dude, this doesn't make sense.
What doesn't make sense?
One example, Makoni West, right? Constituency. The total of votes for the National Assembly are 12,302. The total of votes for the same constituency for the presidential, excluding spoiled ballots, are 21,003.
You see? ZEC distributed unwittingly the data that it used to produce a result. The data has so many irregularities. The data is the best evidence we can have. The data tells the story of how the attempted rigging happened.
This lady who's calling me now is the lady who's bringing in the people from across the country. Can I tell her that we will get their affidavits done this evening?
Yes.
It's fine. So I have your basic statement, and you mentioned that when they saw that MDC had won, some people came into the polling station.
Yes.
Are you able to tell me a little bit more about that, about what happened?
I was beaten.
Okay.
And I came to Woman Trust.
Yeah.
That's where I was treated.
Okay. How many people were beating you?
4 were inside the same.
4 were inside.
Yes.
You were beaten inside the polling station?
Yes. With the iron bar.
Okay. They beat you with an iron bar?
Yes.
Okay.
Then I fell down, then soldiers came inside.
Yes.
So when they left me looking for another MTC observer was inside.
Okay.
Then I got the chance to run away now.
Okay.
Yes, to escape.
So we're going to turn this into an affidavit to be used in the court case. Then I will ask you to come and sign it in a moment.
I'm prepared to do so.
No.
That's why I'm here.
We appreciate your bravery, sir.
Sure.
Yeah.
Saka pandakasvika kumba vana vachitondi kuti mama pano pasvika kamota kanga chikutsvaga ipanapa kanga ine vanhu 4. Saka tatongovaudza nokuti vanga chitoti imimi togona kuti ungoseta kuurai tudze kwendani mai venyu.
Saka mese makadzingwa makatiza pakuzoverenga pakazoverengwa musisi pasina kana
pasina munati vanhu vese tandatisa.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So we have here, and it's an affidavit. It's a really awful situation. This lady was actually was raped, and her husband was sodomized, was raped as well. She is a polling agent and had refused to actually sign new V11 forms. They had come and they came to her house trying to force her to sign new V11 forms. And the stories like this are the stories that are coming in. It's hundreds from all across the country.
So we can get more affidavits.
Yeah, by tomorrow morning we'll have more affidavits, other similar stories.
Okay.
Two days before election, aitopiwa mbeu polling station pavanofanira uchivhotera ipapo paiswa mbeu kuti pamwe kuti boys munainzi ndawe nekavhota slip tumaslip tuyato tumaregistration slip tuyatuya ndotwavaenda nato kunotoresa mbeu toti tuchiendwa makombiyuta sezvamuri kutoita izvozvi because what is the purpose yekuti munhu anouya nekavhota slip then more enter number dzikakavhota slip
Still police station dzamakaona izvi ndiapo
chimodzi chipfunde mapfeka kamwe kacho kakanzi chikwira ward
muchiuya ndopanotanga kukwira masfigures avo asi ekupenga but ndikada kuuya imimi pavoters roll ratatsvagara tinaro original mapolling stations aya hapo mana 18 ana 23 varipo
tifotokoperewo 40.554. Now how does it compare with this?
Okay.
This is a better vision. Okay, so this takes us to 40,000.
40,000.
Ndisenderei because zvinhu zvacho zviri agent
pametwa 1 yani kani 68 pametwa uyu 9 yani 247 pametwa 11 yani 213
the same for two different polling stations.
But coincidence yacho maybe that coincidence.
No. Coincidence ikubva yati inobva yaita the same numbers throughout.
Cumulative here muda.
Sorry. You hope mafigures are apa pane 29 apo pane
and that big in evidence.
You pane that 700,000 that is not easy to account for.
Saka chingwa.
Time yangu.
F1.
Yes.
Okay.
Annexure M.
Annexure M. Where's M?
This is the last page.
Yeah, that's just
Culture it.
The NDC say they have evidence that the election on July the 30th was rigged and stolen. They say they have documents that show that some figures were inflated to favor the ruling ZANU-PF party. They say that they have evidence that in some of the rural areas, village heads were at polling stations watching how people were voting, telling them if you don't vote for ZANU-PF, you won't get food.
Wait.
Yes, I've never before felt this kind of burden on my shoulders, but I've never been more ready.
So we still need to clarify our minds around what exactly are we asking the court to do. Are we saying that they must declare Chamisa the winner? And if we're saying they must declare Chamisa the winner, what is the kind of evidence that we need to show that he actually won the elections?
What we simply need to do, in my view, what we need to expend our energies on is showing that he did not win the election.
Yeah, I suppose we could start at the core with what they admit and then move from there to what they don't properly deny.
Yes. And then move to what we can fight for.
Yeah.
But from the figures that we have, the numbers that we have, we well beyond the 32,000 threshold.
And that takes us to the zone of a rerun.
Yeah.
It is an historic day. For the first time in its television history, Zimbabwe is broadcasting a court case.
Roads around this courtroom will be cordoned off as the nation braces for one of the most important cases in the country's history.
Well, the Supreme Court is under siege. It is as if it's a war zone, and I think that is very unfortunate. It doesn't send a good message to the desire for democracy, freedom, and transparency. I do not know what the state is afraid of, so much that the whole, nearly the half of town is cordoned off.
The MDC Alliance says it's assembled an A-team, according to the leader, Nelson Chamisa. They've brought in some high-profile South African lawyers, including amongst them Jeremy Gauntlet, who used to represent former South African President, the late Nelson Mandela. The crux of this matter is proving that indeed the numbers don't add up, as the MDC alleges, or that they do, as the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission and ZANU-PF claims.
Are we ready to get in?
I think.
See. Sorry, we're waiting for Let's go.
Yeah, by not making it messy.
Okay.
Is there a reason not to say what has happened?
Okay, to the answer to your question of what is happening now is that we have now been told that our right to represent the client has been denied, and we think that is a travesty of justice. The only person now who stands between us and the right of audience is the Minister of Justice, who, according to our client, was the chief electoral agent of the winning candidate, the current president. My colleague here was going to deal with a certain section, I was going to deal with a certain section. Advocate Mpofu of Zimbabwe was going to deal with different sections. So it does obviously affect that planning when at the last minute that plan is not going to work. If it says with it, I can say with the opponent.
Yes, yes. Kumana, no, we can't have this. You say to me, my word, I'm the lawyer for the applicants, and why do you want to say to me?
We are sitting here. You get
Sifa, why am I being saged? I'm a lawyer for crying out loud. I'm the applicant's lawyer. Why am I being saged?
Everyone is subjected to search. Everyone. Say, Panoma phone. Nema phone.
Tonight.
You're right. Panoma phone. Hello, do you have a phone?
I have a tablet and a computer.
Can I have a
Sure, thank you. And it is needed for the purposes of legal assistance. It's not for entertainment or any other reason. We need it. It's got our documents on.
We are not allowing a cell phone. We are not allowing a tablet. We are not allowing a laptop or any relevant metal gadget.
Thank you.
Hello, guys.
We may now proceed to hear the case for the applicants. When are you ready? You are ready now to start.
I am ready.
You may start.
Thank you, my lord.
What ZEC has done is to violate the Constitution, to violate the Electoral Act in a manner which has ultimately benefited the first respondent. Mashonaland Central at page 159, the report by the ZBC, it does two things. Number one, it mentions figures. Number two, it attributes those figures to a ZEC official. It says by 5:30 p.m., 105,000 people had voted in Mashonaland Central. The final figure that one gets from ZEC is that an hour and 30 minutes later, plus 370,000 people voted. Is it humanly possible? But it doesn't end there. Then there is the issue of identical polling results. There are at least 16 polling stations with identical results. Identical results for Chamisa, identical results for Mnangagwa, identical spoiled votes. And in all those places, Mnangagwa not only wins, but wins big. It's like a kid who was playing with the figures. That, with respect, is not how an election is conducted.
We'll now give the opportunity to Mr. Kanengoni.
The Zimbabwe Electoral Commission cannot be taken to task to say, why is the voter turnout in Mash Central at this particular level and not at that particular level? Voters behave the way they do. No one knows why. Maybe behavioral scientists may be able to answer the question if they study it.
Mr. Kanengoni, there's the averment that several polling stations showed identical results.
And the simple point we make is that there's no need to be theoretical about it. We have the returns. This is something that happened. We show you the returns. And we've put the returns for 2 of those polling stations here to illustrate the point.
You say it happened?
Yes.
But in his presentation, Pofu says it's actually 16 polling stations where the identical results. You heard it.
Yes, we did. Even in the affidavit, they put a bit more of the polling stations there. But we chose this to illustrate to the court. But for the rest, it did happen. It did actually occur.
We'll now go back to the applicant. I'm interested in knowing why the ballot boxes, which are still sealed, why did the applicant not seek to have those boxes opened up?
Because there's been a massive cover-up. There's been a massive doctoring of that evidence. So that is what I want to establish. Now, why do we have...
Thing, Mr. Mpofu, perhaps you may not be understanding me properly. Why go for speculative conclusions of manipulation?
I'm clear on His Lordship's question.
Yes.
I'm very, very clear, my Lord. That is what I want to answer, and I want to answer it substantively, and in a manner which eliminates all scrapple, in a manner which answers all doubt. The point that I wish to make is that this is evidence of manipulation by ZEC after the process. Now, with this evidence of manipulation after the process, if you go to what they call the primary data, you're going to see manipulated data. So the applicant cannot ask a court to open residue which has already been manipulated. If you go to the residue, you drink from a poisoned well. When you look at the figures, let's look at those that have been admitted by ZEC. Let's look at the parliamentary tally. When we show that 40,000 people are said to have voted in the presidential election and not in the primary election, and ZEC does not have returns which show that there were people who simply chose to vote in the presidential election, that is the end. Fortunately, they took away my phone. I wanted to just do a quick calculation, but it is, let me just do a quick calculation. It's around 69,000 votes, which have nothing to do with the race.
You still have the question whether, in that context, there's been any allegations of direct involvement by the first respondent.
It does not matter what the first respondent has done or not done. If it is established that ZEC did not run a proper election, he cannot benefit out of something that is unconstitutional. So, for instance, the court cannot say, we agree that ZEC is wrong, we agree that ZEC did this, but it is not the first respondent. Doesn't matter. That does not save the election. So, my lords, my ladies, but as I've indicated, on the figures that are purely arithmetic, we have 69,000 under circumstances where we require 31,000 to establish that first respondent did not win this election. And on that basis, a runoff is unavoidable.
Thank you, Mr. Pofo, for having taken us through these issues very well argued. We do appreciate your assistance. We do also appreciate you did quite a lot of work in 2 days and failed to sleep. We do appreciate that much.
Thank you. Let them say anything now. Let them rule the other one. But you made us proud.
Yes, no markets. I end up.
Oh,
I know no map.
all right.
You have to know that I tell you
One, what I tell you?
there has no bit.
I got better.
Right now, things are at a standstill. The country is in limbo. Parliament can't convene. Cabinet can't be appointed. So a lot of things are not moving right now because of this court case. All eyes on those 9 judges. Which way are they going to rule? Once that ruling is made, the decision is final. There's no room for appeal.
The applicant made several allegations of irregularities against the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission, which were sought to be related to its failure to discharge its obligations in terms of the law. No proof or evidence was adduced by the applicant himself of these allegations. Best evidence in this instance would have been the contents of the ballot boxes themselves. That is the primary source evidence. In the final analysis, the court finds that the applicant has failed to place before it clear, direct, sufficient, and credible evidence. In the result, the following order is made. The application is dismissed with cause in terms of Section 93, subsection 4, subparagraph B of the Constitution. Emerson Tambuzo Nangagwa is duly declared the winner of the presidential elections held on the 3rd of July, 2018.
They failed to deal with our figures completely. But what if they declared him a winner on what number? What supports the revised number?
Not a figure.
Independent of figures.
Independent of figures.
Why you win
Independent of figures. So it becomes a selection, but not an election.
Yes.
How do you become independent? Win independently.
Independent of figures. Nah.
Well, you've got to count how many people voted for a person and then make a declaration based on the numbers. And the Concord did not want to look at the numbers. They did not answer questions about double counting. They did not answer questions about 300,000 people voting in 1 hour in a province. And these are fundamental questions to seeing whether or not the figures that you want to use in order to make a declaration are true or a fallacy. It's very clear that Mnangagwa is going to be a hugely legitimate president.
I've heard what has been said by Mr. Mnangagwa, that he accepts the court decision. Yes, he may accept the court decision, but the court decision is not the people's decision. He must be able to look at the reality that the people who voted do not believe in him. I saw even last night, ZANU-PF were trying frantically to try and cause people to celebrate. But they couldn't. They couldn't even celebrate themselves because they know that it's fiction. They did not win this election. Now I understand that there's an inauguration tomorrow. That does not take away, even if they are going to inaugurate tonight, in the next hour, that does not resolve the issue of the national economic crisis. Zimbabweans can't afford 5 more years of promises without delivery. There must be answers. Workers need answers. The young people out there who want jobs need answers. Hope, hope, hope is what we have. I want to thank those who voted for me, over 2.6 million who voted for me. Thank you so much for investing your trust in us. Thank you so much for dreaming with us. Thank you so much for believing in us. This is not the end of the road, but it's beginning. Change is coming, and change is coming. Whether it is delayed is another thing. It cannot be denied.